Welcome one and all, parents and wards, and even the kids. Today on Parenting, we are discussing dieting for children with special needs with Adebola Adefioye, a psychologist who is passionate about helping children with neurodevelopmental disorders such as autism and other related disorders. You are welcome, Adebola.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you here again.
Good to be here too.
So, I've always thought that kids are kids and that there might not be any special differentiation when it comes to what they eat, regardless of who they are or the form that they are. But you are here to talk about specific dietary needs for kids with disorders.
Yes.
So, tell us exactly why this is essential.
Okay, basically we know that children with special needs have special needs. That's why we tag them children with special needs. Yeah. So we always advise that giving them the right diet, the right nutrition, because it helps therapy. It helps them bounce back. It's easier to work with them when they have right meals. Like we say, we are what we eat. Whether there's anything wrong with us or not, we are what we eat. So we need the right meals to be able to work so that the brain repairs itself and is able to function optimally.
Okay, well, in this case, food is medicine.
Yes, it is.
I guess. But not everybody sees it that way. Especially in a country like Nigeria, where your staple is your staple. Your staple is what you eat every single day. You don't want to necessarily think about going the extra mile to maybe make something special, even for yourself. We have such a limited, linear type of diet in Nigeria. There are other aspects to this I'll come to, especially when it comes to funding for such a thing, the expense of these foods. But tell us exactly what these kinds of dietary needs or these foods are. Okay,
like you said we have like a stereotype type of meal in Nigeria. It's because that's what we've conditioned ourselves to be. I don't know whether we're in the same generation, but when I was younger, we had more whole meals rather than processed meals. But over time, because of convenience, we wanted things done quickly, we changed those meals to processed things. So if we go back to what we have, Nigeria is blessed with a lot of things. We have grains, whole grains, we have so many things in Nigeria that we just need to switch our minds back. Like we have millets, we have sorghum, we have oats, we have all these things. So we can just switch. Yeah, it might be a bit difficult because we've been used to eating like rice and all the normal meals, but just a little twist, a little switch, and you'll be fine.
Now you talked about when you were younger. First off, you look 26.
But then, thank you.
Then, if you talk about when you're younger, these things were closer to us then. You know, the oats and all of that, they were less processed than they are currently, and you could just reach out and
get them.
And get one. But right now, the villages have gotten farther away from us. The farms are distant and all of that. So we find ourselves eating more processed foods.
True.
My question now is, I don't want to say chemicals, but the substances that are used to preserve food, are they detrimental to children generally and especially to children with special needs?
Oh, yes, they are. Like you said, generally, even to us adults, these chemicals that we use to keep the meals are detrimental to our health. So that's why we always assume that, we always implore that, you know what, find a network. When you have a network, someone would know someone that has this thing or the other. Yeah, it's farther, but it's like it's still available. We still have farmers, especially in the north, that do these things, that even without without keeping chemicals in it. You know, so it's available. We just need to find the right people that have them. Okay,
so let's talk about these foods for special needs kids. Specifically now, what kind of foods?
Okay, let me give I keep explaining that special needs is broad. So we talk about cerebral palsy and we talk about children with autism.
Yeah.
I would put children with autism under the neurodevelopmental, and then for children with cerebral palsy, I'll put them under the physical. So, okay, now for a child with cerebral palsy, because he or she's muscles are not developed, a lot of those meals have to be either pureed or juiced before they can eat it. So they can eat whole grain, like I said, millet. They can eat acha. Acha is a kind of cereal that is made in the north. You can eat it as like rice. You can blend it and make it as flour, as like pap and all that. So all this, you can do acha, you can do sorghum, you can do millet, you can do guinea corn. Guinea corn is the red, trying to find the right word. It's called like gero in Yoruba. Yeah.
Don't worry, and then, good.
And then, like, you know how it is kuno, that millet that is used for kuno, the white one. Yes, you can also make them, you can eat them as like cereals. You can blend them and make them as flour. You can use them to bake biscuits. You can use them to bake pancakes and all that instead of the regular processed flour. So all these things are available, like I said. And then you can also add vegetables to their meals. Vegetables like broccoli, like kale, like spinach, like ugu, like Aziza leave, you know, all these things are available. We just don't know the benefits of them. So that's it.
Okay, so what you've just told about actually spells out work. So one has to be actively prepared to say, okay, if I'm going to take care of a special needs kid, I must put in the work.
Yes,
I must fetch these items. I must process them without, you know, I mean, local, like household type of processing, and make sure that they're available for the kids, which is a lot. Now, everything you've just said are kind of like what we find people trying to put labels on now and sell as very unique lifestyle foods.
Yeah.
Kunu, for instance, put a label on it, it becomes special.
So,
hey, it's 1,500 naira. These things are getting expensive. If you're not going to process them yourself at home, they're very expensive. Now, the question is how many Nigerian parents can afford these things ready, without process, without chemicals for their kids?
Okay. And that's why I ask that you join support groups. We have a lot of support groups coming up now because we understand how expensive it is. Also, you can imagine if like a group of 20 women buy a bag of like a cereal. You know, you've cut down a lot of middlemen and all that, so it's you sharing it and expenses. Yeah. And when you talk about it being expensive, the cost of living in Nigeria itself, it's expensive. Yeah. So what you need to do basically is get a support network. There will be someone in your support because you know each person knows what like let's assume we have children with special needs and we're in the same support group. You know what your child's needs are. I can be like, wait, sorry, who has a juicer? Who has this? Who has this? Can we team together? That's what support groups actually do. And there are things like that. They're growing, they're increasing. We keep seeing people coming together in small groups, helping one another.
So there is a community. And
yes, there's a community.
The keyword here.
Yeah, community is the keyword.
You have to be able to, you know, feed off of
one
each
another.
person.
Yes,
which is very interesting. Where can we find these communities? How accessible are these communities?
It's like I run one for children because I work basically with a lot of children with neurodevelopmental disabilities. But because in Nigeria, everything is lumped together. Once a child has a special need, they don't want to know where your specialty is. They just ask you, please come work with my child, you know, like that. So I have a community like that. There's so many of them. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. You just search for them. And then join. Some of them ask you to pay. Some of them are free. Some, like when it gets to some levels, you have to pay. But initially, it's basically free. You just come, share ideas, get ideas, talk, share, get counsel, basically. So that's it.
Two things here. First, I'll note that you have to network to be able to get this community and search for them. And of course, we have her handle on the bottom third of the screen, so you'll be able to follow her and ask her specific questions. Now, let's get to the hard part. The hard part is this. It's already a chore to try and get a healthy kid to eat broccoli, for instance. How do you do that with a kid with special needs? That is work.
Yes, it is. It is work. Yes, it's a lot of work. And that's what we tell you, mix it with something really nice. Kids like sweet things. Yeah. So find like pineapple. Pineapple is very sweet. Banana is very sweet. Strawberry is very sweet. Okay, then
Nigerian strawberry is not sweet. So that's a debate. I don't know what happened to our strawberry. Somewhere down the line, God just said, I'll take away the sweet here and just give you guys this kind.
Okay, so let's take out strawberry, but let's do pineapple and banana. Yeah, you can blend them together. And then the proportions, because pineapple has a lot of sugar, so we tell you to like reduce it. But no matter the quantity of pineapple you put into anything, it's still healthy and it sweetens it. So we ask you to do that. And then you can make it in bread. When you do broccoli or all these vegetables in bread, like you do banana bread and then you put broccoli in it, they're eating, that's healthy. So we just ask that incorporate it into every of their meals, whether it's their bread or their biscuits or their cookies, whichever thing, just add it to it. Make it a lifestyle. So that's it.
And are the effects immediate?
Well, because we are going healthy, and then, let me give an example. You've been fed on junk for a long time, and now you're trying to change. You won't see it immediately, but after a period of time, you begin to notice the difference. We realize that therapy is better. A child that is hyperactive and changes his meal, we realize that the hyperactivity is reduced. He's more attentive. He sits down more. You know, so those things, it's a gradual process. Rome wasn't built in a day. There's no microwave anything. It's a process. You just have to follow it through and see the results. And the results they're amazing. First, you see their skins change. They begin to glow, like I said, and then their ability to assimilate is better.
Okay. Wow, Adebola, it's always very grand to have you here. There's so much that we can learn from you. Unfortunately, we have very little time, but even within that time, I'm sure that a lot of people have gotten so much from you. And if you have a kid with special needs, do take note that you have to implement some of the things that Adebola has told us here. And with time, you'll begin to see the changes and effects, which is grand. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.